This is still a Marshall Enterprises presentation. Peace, pace, and more peace. Family, I have to come back to you and continue with the information. Not that there's confusion, there's a little bit of misinformation that's being tossed around, and we need to clear some things up. So we got to be clear about what we're doing. And we're talking about business. And when you talk about business, you have to be forward thinking. You have to think about how you want to structure your business and how you intend to have the business operating in the future. And if you don't know the ins and outs of business, or if you don't know how businesses are set up, structured, and so on, this is going to be a kind of cumbersome task. Now, the reason why I didn't specify, but I spoke a bit about DBA, sole proprietor, because that is one of the easiest things to set up and work with at the moment. Now, yes, if you compare a DBA to an LLC all day long. However, people just starting out in this business, they will get confused with an LLC. They may want to start with a DBA. Yes, it's attached to you. Yes, there's a lot of there's less defenses, and there's a lot of liability with the DBA. It's okay. You're getting your feet wet and you're growing. Now, for those that don't want to start with the DBA and you want to start with an LLC, great. You can still file for your LLC and then file for a DBA or assumed name certificate under your LLC. What did I just say? What I said was, once you apply for that LLC, the LLC can be whatever you want to call it. Defiant Trust, Defiant Corporation, whatever, LLC. Now, Defiant Trust or Defiant Corp, LLC, whatever, chooses to do business as Bud-Brownsville. So you would file for a DBA from Defiant LLC doing business as Bud-Brownsville. You don't need just one, or you don't have to stay with just one. You can do several DBAs under that LLC. Here's an umbrella, and you should create an umbrella. What is your main company and what will fall under that? Very important, because the structure of your business is important. And if you do it backwards, you do the DBA and then you file for LLC, and not so much as it's backwards, but you still can clean it up. That's in IRS Form 8832. 8832. Now, I'm gonna superimpose this right here so you can see it. And what I'm showing you is you can first apply for your 9(8) series EIN. What is a 9(8) series EIN? A 9(8) series EIN is foreign. It is, if you want to call it private, you know, EINs are only necessary if you are planning to do business in the USA, or if you want to open up a bank account. All right, so there has to be a identifying number attached to something that is attempting to do business in the United States. Okay, that's the only reason you need an EIN. Now, if you form a trust, you form an unincorporated business organization, you don't need an EIN unless you intend on opening up a bank account or you intend on having employees. Okay. Before the end of this video, I'm going to take you into the IRM, the Internal Revenue Manual, and the breakdown of EINs, because you need to see this, and you need to study this on your own to know what you're doing. Business is business. If you're not going to do it right, you're going to do it wrong. And oftentimes you do it wrong and then wind up doing it right. So you got to get your feet wet, but you got to get right information. So whoever you guys is listening to and giving you little tidbits, okay, where are they getting their information from? I'm going to show you where I'm getting mine from, and it's coming from the horse's mouth. So anyway, when you structure that umbrella, you want to put your main business at the top. And then all those that will be subsidiaries of it, or I don't want to call them peons, but the little minor businesses will go under it. And your 9(8) series business, or it doesn't have to be a 9(8) series number, it could be something else. You're going to now do an 8832 and say that this is the main umbrella or the main business, and this one is under it. This one is under it. Okay? Now, if you have a 9(8) series, keep showing this. If you have a 9(8) series EIN, you then will apply for the next business's EIN using that 9(8), because this is not legal advice. If you applied for that 9(8) and did not give up your social, that 9(8) is not attached to your person. So any businesses that come from that 9(8) will not be attached to you. You could be named as an agent, you could be named as a representative, et cetera, trustee, whatever you want to call it. So you get the initial number. I say 9(8) because that's the standard when we're doing this private information. Can you use your estate number? Oftentimes, some people use their social to get the estate number. I've used my social to get my estate number because I took control of that estate. So the estate number, do you want to use that to get other businesses under it? I wouldn't suggest it. I wouldn't advise it. I would advise getting that 9(8). Or any other trust. There's trust falls under 8(1). We're going to go through the EIN breakdown. You'll see what number you would get. But once you get that EIN, you will now file for other EINs from that 198, 81, whatever private number that you get. So the businesses that fall under it answer to that main one. And as long as they do not have or if they're not effectively connected to a trade or business, or have a taxable event, they have no tax requirements. All right, show you it again. Get you a structure, know what your main business is going to be, and then form businesses from within that one business. Make sense? I hope so. There are some individuals that teach you to get a DBA in another state because it's easier. A DBA is a doing business as, and what you are doing, you are certifying that you are now doing business in Cincinnati, but you inhabit New York. When you attempt to open up a bank account, now I have no personal information about this step, but I'm asking the question, and maybe someone that has tried it, done it, can give us some insight. If you attempt to open up a bank account with a DBA from Cincinnati, Connecticut, but you inhabit New York, will the bank give you a hard time? Probably, probably not. Because as long as you have the criteria, the DBA and the EIN, that's all you really need to open that account. Because again, the DBAs are attached to you. All right, so they may not give you trouble. However, you're saying that you're doing business in Cincinnati. part of the process of going private and claiming the name and claiming ownership or control of the name is the place in which the birth took place is the place in which that original account or the registration was made. So if you were birthed on New York, for you to get a DBA in Cincinnati doesn't make a lot of sense. I hope a lot of people are following. So you should get the DBA in the place of birth, the county of birth, in the all caps name for that location. Yeah, it may be easier to go to Massachusetts, Connecticut, Cincinnati. Maybe easier, no harm, no foul. However, the paperwork doesn't really match up to the original registration. Okay, so keep that in mind. So anybody that's educating you and telling you, okay, it's easy to go here and do it, what is the purpose behind that? What are you trying to accomplish? So when I advise people and I consult with people, I find out, what are you trying to do? What is your goal? Where are you trying to get to? Because I'm not going to tell you my process or give you my process, because my process is for me. You need to carve your own path. Now, if you are planning to get from A to B, okay, here are some steps that you should take. Okay, what state did the original registration take place? The original birth certificate get formed? Okay, that's where you should concentrate. Now, once you concentrate on that and you no longer live or reside or inhabit that state, case in point, myself, I was born on New York. Excuse me, Brooklyn, New York. I currently inhabit New Jersey. Now, my paperwork I've done in New York, with the exception to a Uniform Commercial Code 1, UCC 1. I did a UCC 1 in New York, and then I also did a UCC 1 in New Jersey, but I referenced the UCC that I did in New York. So I didn't create a totally different total new UCC 1 in New Jersey. All I did was apply or do the process, but in the subject or the description area, I referenced my UCC 1 in the number and pointed it to New York. Okay, so you want to line up your process. DBA in Minnesota, DBA in Florida, but you reside in New Jersey. Does that make a lot of sense? You got to think about these things. However, if you are just forming it, because here's, excuse me, I hope I'm not going all over the place. I hope I'm making sense to you guys. When you apply for your 9-8, they are going to ask you for a foreign address for the business. Where was the business formed? And foreign address to some people would be Afghanistan, which you're not wrong, that's a foreign. But if you inhabit New York, New Jersey is foreign to New York. Now, once you apply, the information that you give them has to line up. And when I show you the Internal Revenue Manual's breakdown, you know, how everything is done, you can decide on how you are going to apply for yours from the horse's mouth. So if you choose a foreign jurisdiction, they're going to grant you the foreign EIN with no problem. Also, they tell you in the Internal Revenue Manual what they're looking for. If the caller says this, do this. If the caller says this, do that. So as long as you follow the diagram, you will get what you're trying to get. All right. Now, I went off course about the purpose of being foreign or something like that, but I'll get it back as I continue talking. I lost it, but anyway, you're going to need a foreign address for that EIN. So if you use a different state for that EIN, for that foreign EIN. That is fine. You do not have to continue doing business, or not that you have to continue doing business, but you originally formed the business or formed the corporation, the entity, the association in this foreign location. However, you're now doing business in this location, okay? So just because the business was formed in Afghanistan, you're now here doing business. Do you have to present documentation proving such? No, you don't. Your word is your bond. Will they do any back checking to find out? Do I know this as a fact? No. They're too busy. And as long as you don't put a bunch of outlandish shit up there, it won't bring up red flags, and you won't, get a little marked, because there's a lot of stuff that goes in your file behind the scenes that you don't even know about. So if you screw up and send them an application for an EIN and you put a bunch of wicked information up there that don't match up, trust me, that's in your file. And then you made a mistake, you want to then correct it, then you send them something totally different, and now, they'll compare the notes and they'll look back and say, like, this is why a lot of processes are getting changed up in, or a lot of processes not working, because there's a lot of newbies or people that don't know what they're doing, and they're contacting these agencies with bullshit, like outlandish shit, and they're trying to get these 9/8 numbers, they're trying to get these estate numbers, trying to get all these different things, and the IRS is reading right through this shit. Anyway, you can have multiple LLCs. You can have multiple DBAs. You can have multiple EINs. As I explained in the last video, you are allowed to have a qualified person or responsible party, as they call it, is allowed up to one EIN per day, which means every day you can create a business. So 365 businesses this year, 365 businesses next year. Question that I always get: I got this business, I got this EIN, now I got to pay taxes. If you don't have a taxable event, if you did not make a profit, you don't have a tax responsibility. So you had 365 businesses, and depending on how the business is formed, you may have to file, you may not have to file. And when you do file, you can say zero. I made $0, which means I owe 0 taxes, okay? So that's all the tax advice I'm gonna give you. Touchy subject. Make the IRS your friends. And a lot of people they hawk on that. Oh my God, they're the enemy. You're not supposed to. No, they're not. The IRS is doing their job. And the IRS is looking for your voluntary compliance. The IRS is not making you do shit. You contact the IRS, or the IRS is contacted on your behalf. If you apply for a job and you give them your social and the job pays you, the job reports that they gave you some money. So now they told on you, they snitched on you, and now the IRS is expecting their cut. If you don't give them your information, the IRS can't come after you. They're only doing their job, all right? So now let's go into the Internal Revenue Manual so you can see exactly what is going on. You can take your time and go through it, and this is a big jewel that not many people talk about, but Brownsville will talk about. I mentioned this in another video, but I want you to see this for yourself, because a lot of people are getting misinformation and bad information. Come on, PDF. Okay, I forgot. I was not going to the PDF. I was going to say I was going to share this guy. Listen, this is as far as I'm sharing. Make you an umbrella. you know, do your breakdown, and then make the phone calls. You have to do your foundation, make sure you know what you want to do, and then do it. And if you don't have a clue of what you want to do, but you just want to get the first steps. Now, excuse me, real fast, if you're trying to claim the name or take ownership of the name, that is why a lot of people do the DBA. You do a DBA in the all caps name, and you list the business type as whatever you want to list the business type. Let me say it again. I've said it before. Religious and educational services and businesses is by default tax exempt. So if you list your DBA, your initial DBA as such, great. Now, you've created a business using your all caps name. That you can sit on the side. You can open up a bank account and get credit under that business if you like to, but that could be just separate and pushed off to the side. You now can actually go into business and get an LLC, get a S Corp, unincorporated business. The purpose of doing the DBA in the private sector is to claim ownership and control of that name. All right? So there's two things we're talking about here. Business and ownership of the name, control of the name. So a lot of people do DBAs for control of the name. Then a lot of people do businesses with a DBA. Not everybody gets a DBA in their name. Now, okay, let me clarify. I'm sorry for confusing you guys. When you are taking control of the name and you do a DBA, great. Now, if you are thinking of getting into business because you do nails, because you do your barbershop, okay, you do a DBA and call it Fresh Cuts. Okay, that's a DBA. You get an EIN for it, and boom, you can open up a bank account, and now you can collect money in that name. What is the purpose of a DBA? You can now get money or get payments in that name of that you're doing business as opposed to getting it in your name. Because when money is sent to you, and you get a check from someone and it says Robert Marshall, okay, someone sent me a check for $13,000. IRS don't know what that's for. They're going to assume it's a taxable event and they're going to come after Robert Marshall. If you get it in the business name, Fresh Cuts, Robert Marshall doing business as Fresh Cuts. So the check comes in Fresh Cuts. I have a bank account, Fresh Cuts. So Fresh Cuts is doing business. Now, if Fresh Cuts has expenditures, I bought a car, I got rent, I got lights, I have clippers, all those expenses gets taken care of before you now have to pay taxes. All right? When you do a DBA in your all caps name, it's attached to you. So now in February, when you have to claim your taxes, or not February, I'm sorry, by April, when you have to file your taxes, all of the clothes that you bought, all the shoes that you bought, haircuts, laundry bill, all these different things can be itemized because you're a business now, and you will get a lot more money back. All right, leave that alone. Let's move on. Do you have any questions on that? We can go through it. Let's go to Internal Revenue Manual. I don't want to make this video very, 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 very long. Okay, if you go to 21.7.13.1 or 21.7.13 will take you straight to assigning employee identification numbers. All right. Now, this is the IRS website, and it breaks down, the EIN process of assigning the number, how do you apply for the number, what have you. If you look over here on the side and bring the mouse, when an EIN is required, it tells you when, tells when to assign one. Frivolous or suspicious forms. You need to read these because this is what they look for and this is what they look out for. How many EINs can a person, responsible party receive? I'm going to click that. It's going to bring me down to it. As I told you, effective May 21st, 2012, a responsible party will be limited to receipt of 1 EIN per business day. All right? This is them telling you. It's not me, it's them. I mean, multiple EINs assigned. Now, there are people that have filed for several EINs. I have several EINs. And because of the 8832 that I filed on them, my structure is known by the IRS. And the main company will file the taxes if there's a tax event or whatever necessary. And let me, you have to do your own research on that. I can't. We're moving right along. Closing and canceling EIN, assigning. Let me show you a very good one. I've shown you in another video. Let me show you here. Foreign country input. I'm reading on this side here if you're trying to figure out what I'm saying. Domestic, foreign, input in foreign address. Non-resident alien, reason for applying, maritime tax form. I'm trying to find the foreign. Let's look for that. You have to understand their rules and their requirements. Definitions, UBO, what is that? Unincorporated business organizations, EIN assignment. You might want to read that. You really might want to read that. Going back up, trust filing, assigning EIN for trust. Assigning EIN's trust. EIN assignment, limited liability corporations, a company. You want to read this stuff. This is where all the information is coming from. So people that read this and do videos or don't read this and do videos that have not read this are coming from places I can't tell you, but I'm taking you to the source. Assignment, partnership. You want to do a DBA as a partnership. How to get an EIN, how you fill it out. This is the horse's mouth. This is the holy grail. Sole proprietor. Assignment, sole proprietor. All right? So who you want to listen to? And I'm not saying don't listen to everybody else, only listen to me. That's not what I'm saying. You have to do your own due diligence and figure out what you want to do and how you want to do it. However, go to the source. You have questions about how to do this, EIN, how to apply for this, go to the source. Don't ask anybody else. You can ask me. Want to ask me? I have information. I'm going to point you to this, or I'm going to read it to you, but you can do it yourself. I'm going to end on this one if I can locate it. It's right there. I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to read it, and I'm going to end this video on this aspect. Foreign entities, persons not required to file a U.S. tax return. Foreign corporations and individuals not engaged in a trade or business in the United States, and foreign partnerships, foreign trusts, foreign estates that do not have gross income that is or is treated as effectively connected with the conduct of a trade or business are not required to obtain an EIN unless they otherwise have United States source income, which the tax liability was not fully satisfied by the withholding of tax at the source. However, a foreign entity may need an EIN to comply with IRS withholding regulations or to claim tax treaty benefits. In this case, a taxpayer should complete Form SS4. Now, if the foreign entities, individuals above, receive a letter from the IRS soliciting the filing of a U.S. tax return. The foreign entity individual should respond to the letter immediately by stating that it has no requirements to file any U.S. tax returns. Failure to respond to the IRS letter may result in a procedural assessment of tax by IRS agents against the foreign entity. You can read the rest on your own. I've shown you what I need to show you. I think I've educated you on the DBA and the LLC and the purpose thereof and why you have to set up your business structure before you apply. You should set up your business structure before you apply. I hope that makes sense. I hope this helps you. What can I say? This is all. I can't do anymore. I can't do anymore. I hope this helps you better understand what you could and should be doing. I hope this gives you some clarity. And again, I thank you for watching. I thank you for listening. Thank you for paying attention. And I hope somebody got something from this presentation. Structure your business. Formulate your business. There's a lot of questions being asked in different Facebook groups, or you're calling up individuals or you're talking to them. If they are not taking you to the source, you got to question where they're taking you to. There's a lot of misinformation being thrown around on Facebook, sometimes purposely to throw people off and to screw them up. It is not my job or my intention to screw anybody up, throw them off, or to mess up or mess them up or set them up for failure. I want everybody to succeed. Excuse me. I've done a lot of research and I've done a lot of studying, and I've eaten a lot of the meat and I spit out all the bones. The bones wasn't good for me. When you watch a video and it just doesn't sit right in your psyche and in your spirit, then you either do further research on it or you leave it alone and move on to other things that actually suit you or apply to you. So be careful with the fly-by-night schemes and the people soliciting their business for you, or I'll do this for you for X amount of dollars. Don't be so lazy that you can't study your own things. Look, Google is a very good tool. Google all the words. TheLegalDictionary.org. TheLegalDictionary.org. That's a link to Black's Law Dictionary if you don't have a physical Black's Law Dictionary or legal dictionary. But look a lot of these terms up in a legal dictionary, not a regular dictionary, and get an understanding of what you're doing and what's going on. So don't be lazy. We capitalize. I capitalize too on lazy folks. If you call me up and you ask me questions, people will chime in on this video. I help almost everybody, and I don't charge for the information. I will in 2020. Got to change up some strategies. But the lazy people are the people that I force to get a consultation, and because they're wasting my time. They don't want to do due diligence. They don't want to do their own homework. They don't want to study. And they want something quick and easy. I got a parking ticket. How do I get rid of it? Oh, I got child support. You at the last rung. You got a court date tomorrow. You're calling me today. You had 3 months, 6 months. The case. Why wait till the last minute? You need to do your due diligence. You need to get your protections in order. Don't wait until the very end. Or very possible the last minute to take care of your responsibilities. As soon as you get a letter, jump on it. Answer it. It's fine. As soon as you get a letter. But you got to know how to respond. So learn these things. Don't wait till you get in trouble to now have to dig yourself out of trouble. Protect yourself now before you get in trouble, so when trouble comes knocking, you just hit them in their face. Go away. Go away. You got some that say paperwork ain't shit. Paperwork don't do nothing for you. These very same people call me up and ask me what paperwork they need to get themselves out of trouble. So it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. All right? Bud-Brownsville, LLC. If you need any assistance on forming your business, restructuring your business, you need some more information about business, reach out. Reach out. I have regulars that call me that I take care of on a regular basis, and I have new people that reach out to me, and I try to assist who I can. If you come across as lazy and don't want to do your own work, then I point you to Legal First Aid. Get a consultation, pay the $50, because I help those that I know are going to help themselves, that are going to use this information. Those that are just wasting time or looking for a quick fix, you're going to have to pay for that. All right? Freedom ain't free. Freedom ain't free. Thank you. Got to end this video. I appreciate you for listening. Appreciate you for turning in. Please click like, subscribe, share this video, and by all means, comment. Leave me a comment, good, bad, or indifferent. I'm here to help you. Peace.